This is going to be hard. So anyway, I just got back from Lake Tahoe. I was up there doing boots on the ground for John Collins Black. There's treasure inside, past and future box. It's no secret that the Lake Tahoe area has been my search area since last fall, when Cape Pro Christy and I actually did a boots on the ground in a bit of snow. I forget what month it was, November, December, whenever. We searched under the gondola and Van Sickle State Park. In the meantime, I have modified that search location to fit a location that I now like better. But I do want everyone to know that a combination of Mike and especially K-Pro, when she would stay up into the middle of the night trying to figure out the word search, it's because of K-Pro that I have so much of this information. And just to let everybody know, I did reach out to Christy and make sure that both she and Mike were okay. Me sharing what I'm about to share in this video. Here we go. I'm only going to say this once. Everything in my video is in my opinion. When I first saw the past and future coin, I immediately said to myself, it's in the Lake Tahoe area. I've spent a lot of time there in the past several years and know those lines well. As I read the past and future box chapter, other words jumped out to confirm. On page 224, John wrote, its surface would reflect a state of gold from the sunshine. Obviously, anyone searching Tahoe already knows California is the golden state. And then that was followed by his words, eager for me to dispatch it quickly somewhere I loved. Dispatch quickly is a phrase for the Pony Express, which eventually became Kingsbury Grade, which is a main road. And there's a lot of Pony Express history with a statue in front of Harrah's in State Line, Nevada. I skipped the word search the first time reading the book and analyzed the next paragraph. He wrote the words, you're in luck, which means the Nevada side with casinos and gambling. And he went on to write, counting the vehicles that pass in front of his yard, Grandma and Grandpa would sit down and lawn chairs and tally all the traffic as happy as if basking in the heavens. To me, that meant heavenly mountain resort, a massive area between Kingsbury Grade and southward, encompassing 4,800 acres, some of it in California, but most of it in Nevada. Most of this information has been discussed for the past year. Nothing new here. Before I get to the word search, I want to mention the sapphire that John mentions on pages 23 and 24. Not only is sapphire in the word search, he mentions one of the treasures in the big box is a 120 carat sapphire crystal. Is it coincidence that the upper coin line and state boundary is longitude 120 degrees? And one of Lake Tahoe's nicknames is the Sapphire Gem due to its vibrant blue color, which I can definitely attest to, as I previously mentioned my many visits there. Now I'll get to the word search. There are a few variations to begin the solve. I prefer there are 5 clues in this word search, but don't tell anyone. Line them up. 3 are on special bends or turns. Just remain steady to complete the mission. So we're looking for 5 clues. Most of these have been discussed. Line them up is Pony Express Road. 3 are on special bends or turns. For me, that is Van Sickle, Connector at, TRT Entrance. The lower right corner is Play Basic Ciphers with the word Caesar in a diagonal through that. So if you use a Caesar shift on the other 3 corners, you get joined paths. There again, this is nothing new. It's been discussed. The upper right box says Reward at Interior Wall, which also has the TRT entrance running through that box. Another possible clue I used in the word search was the diagonal starting at the top of the last column saying Historical Area. Does this allude to just remain steady to complete the mission? AI says, for the historical Pony Express, The mission was to deliver mail across the country, which was completed by a system of riders, horses, and stations like Van Sickle. Solving the cryptogram at the bottom of page 225 was probably the easiest riddle in the entire book. Is this John's checkpoint or checksum to verify you are on the right path to the location? My interpretation. The first line describes Van Sickle Trail and its connector. From rock to field is the Van Sickle entrance rock to the boulder field where you go left on the TRT connector portion towards the waterfall, described as from strong to stream. The second line, past tree and posts to forest green, describes the path to the TRT, the Tahoe Rim Trail, where you start from where you park to the designated tree with TRT and the many posts along the trail to the designated green area on your app. Everything at Heavenly is mostly on National Forest area once you are out of Van Sickle State Park. The third line, arrive you now where beauty sheens. You gotta go up onto the overlook to see the sheen from the lake. It's under, over, in between. Treasure is under a boulder on the overlook between other rocks. If you're still watching, I'm almost done. Another interesting thing in the word search, there's a diagonal K, N, V, K at my Van Sickle path. K to K is the Keller to Kingsbury Connector Trail, crossing both states, but my area is at the Kingsbury end in Nevada. Hence, K, N, V, Nevada, 2K, Kingsbury. And even more coincidental, on page 225, John wrote, just don't get too upset with me if it's too easy. Easy Street off the Kingsbury grade dead ends at the beginning of the K2K connector trail. And just so the viewers of this video know, I looked everywhere inside that wiki up. I removed the stone slab, moved and examined the wood piece just in case John made a cutout and put the chest in it, and then I reassembled it as I originally found it. I thoroughly examined every square inch inside that wiki up. I did collect a tiny souvenir for my home shelf, a little blue turtle that now rests happily at the bottom of my summer's checkpoint, complete with Justin's plastic roaches and forest watching over all. These 3 days, boots on the ground, alone in the woods, surrounded by beauty and serenity, were 3 of my happiest days of late. No matter I didn't find John's past and future box, each day ended at the Fox and Hound and another kind of treasure, a Bloody Mary with bacon. John said something to the effect that once a couple boxes are found, the rest will follow quickly. Is that because the lines on the coins are the starting points if you line them up correctly? And does finding one of JCB's boxes help solve Justin's poem to find the Posey treasure? I believe it would.